Everybody, it's Michael from ReplicaAirguns.com with a tabletop video review. Today we're looking at the Crosman MK45 CO2 Non-blowback BB pistol. And again, this is the tabletop review. I have not shot this gun so far. I've shot guns similar to it in the past, but not this exact gun. Now this product is available in our Canada and US Replica Airgun store over at replicaAirguns.ca for Canada and replicaAirguns.us for the US. I'll try to remember to put links in the description for you guys. I can't say whether it'll be available at the time that you check it out, but we do have these items listed there. All right, let's get right into the specifications. This is a non-blowback, almost all plastic constructed gun. It uses 12 gram CO2 cartridges. It shoots 4.5 millimeter steel BBs. It has a 20 shot dropout stick magazine, and that's a metal magazine. It has a non-rifled barrel and weighs in at 0.63 pounds or 281 whopping grams, so it's a pretty lightweight gun. The total length is 7.2 inches or 183 millimeters. It has a double action only trigger and has a claimed FPS up to 480. Now you're going to find some nice fiber optic sights front and back. They are fixed, however. And there is a safety, which is sort of a selector switch style on the right hand side. Now under the barrel, you're going to find a Picatinny rail for accessories of your choice. And I like that it comes in this desert tan version with the black grips. I think it looks good. Now this is a Crosman product and many of them are made in the USA, but this one is made in Taiwan. All right, it does come in a cardboard box, which I like a lot more than the clamshell cases that they come in, because you can actually open these and reuse them. Once you cut into a clamshell case, they're pretty much done. Okay, so there's the model number. On the back, you'll see here 480 FPS or 146 meters per second. Depending on where you live, you'll prefer one over the other. All right, 12 gram BB, 4.5 millimeters steel BB, 20 BBs, 0.63 pounds, 7.2 inches, smoothbore barrel, fiber optic, and the switch. So everything that I kind of already said. And it does come with one of these fold-out manuals. I'm not going to get into it. They basically just have instructions on how to load the CO2, how to take the gun on or off of safety, right? How to aim it sometimes, where the main parts are, things like that, some do's and don'ts. Now we're going to compare it quickly to another product just because I kind of want to show something that's similar. A lot of these guns from different manufacturers share a lot of similarities. So we're going to show the Barra 380 here. And it's essentially the same gun with a different skin on it. And the Barra doesn't have fiber optic sights. It has a white dot in the front, notch in the rear. But you'll see here, it has this pop-out barrel. So the barrel kind of goes forward and then smacks back. It's kind of essentially the hammer, right? Same with this gun. This one has different type of safety here, magazine release, right? It's actually ambidextrous. It's on the trigger guard. I like that. But if you look at the actual magazines, you can switch them back and forth all day long. It doesn't matter. Same magazine. So they share these same magazines. So if you have other guns with these magazines, you can preload them all up because a lot of guns use them, and you're ready to go. So you see they both have these selector switches on the sides, and they're both double action only triggers. Now I do kind of like one thing that's nice about this gun that I noticed is most of the time they just slap two sides together and you have all these screw holes all over the other side. This one only has 3 screw holes and they're very discreet. So 1, 2, there's another one somewhere, I thought 3 right there. So the slide kind of goes on and off somehow. I think you use this. Oh, okay, no, that's not what I wanted to do. But I think this is somehow, I tried it a little bit, but I couldn't get it to do anything. But this moves and it sort of changes the tightness of the slide. So maybe that's how you do it. I'm not going to field strip it today. All right, let's do a quick walk around of the Crosman MK45, and then I'll go over some pros and cons. All right, it's a nice looking gun. I mean, it's very simple in design. It's not a high-end product. I'll get into the pros and the cons of why that's good and bad, but it does, hit some major points here that I do like about it. It's going to be really reliable just because it's not super complicated, but that's getting into some pros and cons again. But here's the sight. So you got this orange fiber optic sight on the front, and then you have the green on the back. I think they're really easy to use. They're not adjustable, but but they work really well. Again, this hammer doesn't really work as a hammer. That's okay. Mostly everything's going to be molded in, including the takedown lever here, or the slide catch release in this case. And then you do have a working magazine release that is ambidextrous, so that's kind of cool. Now your grip just slides off the back. It's not super tight, but when you're holding it, nothing's going to happen. Maybe if you drop it, it'll pop open. You do have the CO2 screw here, which is all covered up, so it's discreet, right? And then you have basically the ejection ports all molded in. You have your selector switch, so nothing's going to happen. Stuff happens. Stuff doesn't happen. Okay, nice Picatinny rail. The barrel really isn't that recessed, maybe a tiny bit, but then that pops out kind of, right? It's a telltale sign that it's not real, other than the plastic build. Okay, everything's covered. There again is your magazine release. Take a quick look at that magazine. All metal, I like that. It does add, it's probably one of the main metal parts of the gun, so it does add some weight to it, which is nice. If it was plastic, this is pretty light. There's really not a lot of metal going on here. It adds a little bit. It really does. You can really tell because that magazine is kind of heavy for its size. All right. Okay, so as promised, we'll get into the pros and the cons. I do like the desert tan look with the black grips. I like the two-tone look on a lot of guns. Obviously, it's not a black gun, but a lot of guns are designed this way and built this way, especially in military applications. It does have fairly high claimed FPS of 480, and that Picatinny rail on the frame will allow you to add accessories, which could up the weight a little bit. If you put a heavy tactical light on there or something, it's going to add some weight to the gun, and it's going to look cool, and it's going to be functional. Now, because it's non-blowback, that is a pro in that you will get more shots per CO2, and you'll get a higher velocity than a typical blowback gun. I do like those fiber optic sights. They look really good. They're super easy to see. They'll be easy to see on a variety of backgrounds. And that CO2 tab is nicely hidden inside the grip section there. Now the double action trigger, it is double action only, but it isn't too firm, so it's not terrible in terms of action shooting. Won't be as quick as a single action pistol, but it does work fairly well. It's not overly heavy. And again, I like the fact that it uses those generic metal stick magazines that are commonly found on lower cost BB pistols. So if you've got a bunch of those guns, you've got a bunch of magazines now that you can preload. Now I do like the fact that it has an ambidextrous magazine release. It's kind of a nice magazine release overall. And the simple design with not a lot of moving parts should make this really reliable. All right, a few cons. It is an all plastic gun for the most part, as I've shown. And there's not many working parts because it's just a molded gun. Really only the trigger, safety, and magazine release work. And the grip, again, is kind of loose. Doesn't really snap into place all that firmly, so if you do drop it, it could pop open. That said, not much is going to happen. You'll just have to close it. When you're holding it to shoot it, that's not going to happen because your hand is tightening that grip towards the gun. It's just what's going to happen. All right, again, I want to mention that this Crosman MK45 CO2 non-blowback BB pistol is available in our Canada and US online replica airgun store. At this time, it's about $100 Canadian. Should be a little cheaper in the US because of the Canadian-US dollar comparison. If you're interested in other products, air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, then you can check out replicairguns.ca for Canada and replicairguns.us for the US. And I will be doing a field test shooting video, so if that's something you're interested in watching, you want to see the performance of this product, see what kind of accuracy I can get out of it and what the FPS really is using 4.5mm steel BBs, then check that out in the future. Stay posted for that. All right, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.